Dong, dong, dong. Okay, so quick one. Let's basically break down how I book 5 calls daily as an outbound appointment setter. And I'm basically going to break it down two systems, and I'm going to show you the back end of what it looks like in a business I was working for, and also show you how I do it currently for my actual business. Um, so the process, let me basically break it down from my system. Now, the different ways you can actually do outbound. If you don't know what outbound appointment setting is, outbound appointment setting is where you reach out to the prospects. You're basically the one reaching out, or maybe it could be cold, warm, whatever. You reach out to the prospects. But my system actually, basically, let's actually break it down. My system has to do with getting people through outbound means to send me messages, right? Sometimes I actually send outbound messages. So by the way, even if you're working inside an influencer's account, you will still be doing outbound for some, because if you're reaching out directly to people that dropped a comment, leave a like or stuff like that, if you're reaching out directly to them, even with the influencer's account, it's outbound. But if they actually send you a message, it's inbound. So my system actually gets both of them, right? But I really rarely do like completely cold messages. I always try to reach out to prospect that has an idea of what we're offering. Now, the system I actually use is quite simple. So first thing I actually do is actually I create a lead. First thing, basically, let's take Genesis. I join niche-based community, right? Now for the offer I'm going to show you, which I worked on, I think I just like a month ago, right? A month ago, the offer I was working on, the system was actually using, I basically had two systems around it. First thing I do was I joined a niche-based community, niche-based community. So for whatever offer you're selling, most offers have niche-based community. It could be either on Reddit, on Facebook, on Twitter, on most platforms actually allows a forum and community like. Most of them could also be on School or on a platform like Collab. It's not really that popular right now, but definitely going to be popular. There are a lot of community platforms. So you could join those communities. Most of them give you free access also on Discord, on Telegram. Make sure the community actually gives interactive is interactive. They not just the admin posting or the owners posting. They have a section where you can interact, and you can definitely pitch yourself. You don't want to just own the group. You can't really just, oh, I'm selling this stuff. No, there's an approach I actually do around it. So what I do, I use two strategies. I use the lead magnet strategy, but I'm going to break down the main strategy I use right now to get people into my DM. I kind of post a value post in groups that have strict rules and stuff like that. But what I do most of the time to get people to my DM is I create lead magnet posts. Now, this lead magnets post get people to send me a message. But the system I actually use for the business I actually work with right now, previously, like a month ago, the strategy I was actually using for them, because I worked for them like I think like 3-4 months, like 3-4 months. The strategy I was using for them looks like this. So I create like lead magnet post, but this lead magnet post sends people to a form, right? Sends people to a form. Now this form could definitely be around different stuff. It could be like a questionnaire, it could be a questionnaire form, right? It could be a survey form, and it could be like a giveaway form, something like that, or it could be a qualification form, right? Qualification form or an application form, right? Now, for the one I was actually using, it was a survey and an application form. I basically had like two forms. So when I basically people send messages to this, fill out this form, like make a lead post, people fill out this form. Two stuff happened. I then sent some of them, basically one of the form had like a call to action for them to click on a link and send me a message. And the other form had no call to action, so I had to manually reach out to people. But there were some that didn't actually click on the call to action and reach out to me, so I still have to reach out to them. So people will fill out this form with all their information, and then I reach out to them. Basically, let me show you the back end of what a convo actually looks like with some of these prospects. So if you can see right now, this is and such a couple of the convos I definitely had. I'm going to show you like a booking call, and I'm actually going to show you like, okay, this was a booking call. This was actually a booking call, and the process was quite very easy. All I had to do was, for this one, I had to basically send an outbound. He filled out the form, say, hey CJ, we have received your form and would like to invite you to the upcoming Zoom and stuff like that. If you see, I basically didn't go deep into asking a lot of questions because the form I actually created had a lot of information. I'm going to show you the breakdown process I used to create out this form. I used the exact strategy I used to do DM appointment setting while creating these forms. So I make sure I get their current situation, their desired outcome, and I get the problem they're facing all in the form. So when I'm reaching out to them, I have a clue of what issue they're actually facing already. So booking them on a call is easy. So the form, I qualify them. I don't send everyone a message and make sure they meet all the criteria, the demographic requirements and everything. Then I book them on, I send them a message. Oh, does Tuesday work for you? Sure. Depends on the time. Sent in the calendar link, booked. And that was how easy it was, right? You can see how short the convo was because it actually came from a lead post. Now I had like an automation process for it because I actually take an extra mile when I was doing outbound appointment setting because I have like experience in building funnels. So I actually take a step further and actually building a whole system while building this whole stuff, right? I take a step further, building our whole system to get these people to get the actual like lead posts or lead magnets or whatever I'm actually giving out completely for free. I give it to them. Now let me jump to a lead that actually closed. All right. Let me show you guys a lead that closed. Now for this was a closed deal. This is Ruby. Let's actually show you Ruby. It's a closed deal. Now this was the convo I had with Ruby, right? Okay. So this was a convo I had with Ruby. For this, you can actually see she actually first sent me a message, right? She filled out the form. Hey, I'm an applicant. I want to give you an update. I'm done filling out the form. Thank you very much. And I was like, okay, hey Ruby, we received your form. I went, checked the form, made sure she was qualified, reached out back to her, made sure she was qualified, and then I booked her on a call. I sent her to a page with a few testimonials. She watched it, she booked on a call, checked out, confirmed the call, and then when the call was the time, I basically sent her directly also to like, she basically missed the call. Then I actually hopped on to reschedule the call. Very easy process, right? And I was completely using my Facebook profile. By the way, my profile was not actually verified at that time. So I was using my profile. I was doing the outbound. Let me actually bring back my face. So most of you might be wondering, like, what did the questionnaire actually look like, right? So the process I actually do in the DM appointment setting is super easy. First, I have like a genuine opening, right? Now, basically, I have this form basically creates like DM convos. Some are actually like DM convos are usually like inbound. Basically, I do outbound post that brings inbound messages and outbound. So from here, this basically, let me show you guys what the DM convo actually looks like. So it's something like I have genuine opening. My DM convos usually look like genuine opening, genuine opening, right? Then I have like current situation. Then I have desired outcome. Then I have problems, right? The problem they're basically facing. And I personalize the offer. So for this, what I actually did with the form was quite different. For the form, what I actually did was I didn't actually like I personalized them sending me a message, right? So if you like us, if you want to book a strategy call to actually take this further on how we can fix the problems you mentioned, basically send me a message and send you a calendar link to book or call, right? And at first, I basically put directly to just book a call after they fill out the form. It was very low. I just had to basically had that personal interaction with them. So I got them to the DM, made sure they knew it was real. Then I booked them on a call. It was way more easier because I was creating outbound posts, right? And now for this, it was a very simple process. I get them when they actually have that. I have DM convo, then they book on a call. We start convo, then I'm booking a call with them. It was super easy, right? Now, most of these forms I can get like 10 people, 15 people actually fill out a form and have like 3, 4 actually booking a call. Sometimes 5 calls. Most of the time I was getting like 5, 6, 5, 4, 5, 6 around that. I was actually booking a couple of calls for them. Now, this exact system, I actually implemented it for another business and it worked very effectively. By the way, if you're a business owner watching this, it can actually work for any niche you're actually doing. If you have a community already, it's super easy. You can actually do this on steroid and automate the whole process and have this booking calls on autopilot, right? Now, the second method I actually used was the webinar funnel, right? Now, I was basically using both strategy for a single business, right? Both strategy having this system booking in calls, and I had the webinar funnels booking in calls. So either ways, I would definitely get to the 5 calls being booked. The webinar funnel was quite simple and the same. I join niche-based community. I create lead magnet posts, right? But for lead magnet posts, I didn't actually have a form. I had a webinar invitation. Right? I had a webinar invitation. So lead magnet post, okay, would you like to learn this? Join the free webinar, had a webinar invitation, and on the webinar invitation, we had like a 1 hour plus webinar, basically when they actually sign up. I follow up with a few of them. Most of them I didn't actually follow up. But I follow up with a few of them. I basically create public posts reaching out to all of them actually like that filled out the form, but what the business had in the end was they had an automation, right? So I didn't actually manually need to follow up with all of them because you just tell the business, oh, you just need to automate it. Send out emails to everyone that actually filled out the form, hoping to wait for the invitation for the webinar and stuff like that. So there would be like an email sent out, like email reminder sent out, and people actually hop on these webinars and we have like a 1 hour plus webinar. Now, 1 hour plus webinar. And the webinar, 1 hour plus webinar, completely packed, value packed. I always tell the business, do not really care, right, about giving it value. Give as much raw value as possible. And people will definitely be receptive at the end when you just say, oh, who like to actually book a strategy call? Simple. You definitely imagine you have like 20 people actually help on the webinar. You could definitely get like 2, 3, basically 1% of them actually interested. That's like 2, 3 people actually booking a call. So if you're getting like 3 people booking a call here, 3 people booking a call here, 2 people booking a call here, 3 people booking a call here, I can definitely get to that mark. But for this, I was actually doing this like weekly. So we had like weekly webinars coming in. This basically books in more calls than actually this, but this actually happens once a week, right? So this process actually booked me a lot of calls every single day because I was actually, by the way, I was spamming most of the groups, but I did it in a way that they won't get me banned, right? But I actually sent out a lot of posts, get a lot of people to actually fill out the form and get responses. Now, there's the last way I basically did it, but this way is really you're just spamming, right? You're just spamming everywhere. Is I hire two stuff. You could hire setters or VAs, basically wherever they are, people that are willing to actually work for less. You don't want to make sure you tell them this is how much you're going to pay them. Or I definitely get like a bot, maybe an IG or Facebook bot. And this will basically spam a lot of people. You find someone in the target audience, right? Find niche profiles with followers or niche communities. Now for for IG, you can't really post links in the comments, right? For IG, you can't really post links in the comments. But for Facebook, you can actually post links in the comments, so you can spam a lot of places, right? Not good, not ethical. But if it's a value, if the service you're providing is a value, you could definitely do this. If you're someone that just wants to get fast results, um, you will get a lot of people booking in calls. And if you get a lot of people actually booking in calls, basically filling out the form, you could definitely hire a setter. Even if you're an appointment setter, you could hire another appointment setter that follows up with all those prospects and books them on a call. Then you give them a cut from what you're doing, and you really don't do most work. You just handle the whole process. And that was basically what I was doing. I was handling the whole process. But for me, I was handling this whole process. I know how to basically penetrate groups. So I'll basically teach you guys maybe one day how to basically penetrate groups on Facebook, and get your posts out there. So process is very simple. Niche-based community, create lead post, lead magnet post, get a form, write a questionnaire form, survey form, something that's people will definitely feel. Do not make it too long, do not make it too short. Something you could get a lot of information. If it's too short, you're not getting all the information. You're not using this strategy. You're just asking the basic questions like their name, email, phone number, or WhatsApp number or something. You're just asking for key information. When you get into the DM, you have to have a DM convo with them, right? I think, let me see if I could find a few convos I have. Yeah, there were a few people I definitely had to ask. You basically had to ask back front conversations. Yeah, like this person had to ask back front conversations. And I think, let me see, I got a couple of people that asked back front conversations. Some will just go straight book a call. For this Ruby, you can actually see she was a closed deal. Some actually ask back front conversations. Some won't actually ask back front conversations, right? But most of the time, most of them might ask back front conversations. So once they basically ask back front conversations, you have to answer most of those convos to get them to actually book in a call. I'm trying to like find a person that actually had a lot of questions to ask. Yeah, like she basically had a lot of questions to ask, right? She had a lot of questions to ask. I had to send voice messages because I do mostly like voice messages when I'm actually booking in calls. So she asked a lot of backfront convos, had a lot of backfront convos with her, and that was the process, right? Get my face back. So not all of prospect will just go straight, oh, here's the link, booking a call. They might be like, oh, I have a few questions to ask, and you basically answer them. But based on what they filled out on the form, you might actually be able to answer them more better because you already know where they're at, where they want to be, and the problems they're facing. Always use that to your advantage. But if you're having DM convos with them, always ask current situation based questions, their desired outcome based questions, problem based questions. And then another process to get your booking calls, right? Another process to get your booking calls to actually go up is follow up, right? Follow up. So one thing I always do is like every prospect you interact with today, 2 days ago, heading basically like ghosted you or didn't reply or said, oh, if you're not interested, you can follow up. Most of the time, if the person say, oh, you're not really interested in service like this, I think I could do it myself. What I do is I leave them for like a week and I get back to them like, oh, I might send them a free stuff. Hey, here's this free stuff that might help you run it, doing this whole stuff yourself. By the way, how's it going? Right? And then press back. How's it been for the past 1 week? You can actually get them when they're, I'm not really saying prey on their vulnerability, but a lot of them, when they begin to see a lot of mistakes, especially people that just came into this space or maybe they want to learn drop shipping and just feel, oh, I feel I could do this myself. Most of them end up getting stuck. And you get, when you reach out to them when the prospect is get already stuck, you're like a saving grace, right? Oh, I'm trying to get into drop shipping, and you're the first message that came into their DM. They're easy close. Not all of them though. So this is the process of basically using, right? It's very effective. It has worked for me and definitely worked for a couple of you. So by the way, if you want to get access like the sales channel, if you're looking to get a sales position, whether outbound, inbound, SDR position or closer position, you can definitely sign up to the sales channel below. It's a tool that basically breaks down and helps you with everything in landing a position. Also, we give you a premium job board where we have VAs find positions and put them on a platform where you can easily apply to. I'll catch you guys in the next video.